And we are streaming. You might, yeah.
This evening, we want to welcome you all here with us this evening. Today being Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. Tonight is our special meeting of the South Euclid-Lyndhurst Board of Education work session. May we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mr. Bloomberg?
Here.
Ms. Falkenberg?
Here, finally.
Mrs. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Lee?
Here.
Mrs. Ryan?
Here.
Just for the record, it is 6:07. So, Dr. Reed, it is my understanding we are still in School Board Appreciation Month. And
Yes, we are.
We have a lot of things still rolling in of people wanting to give the acknowledgments. Typically, we would be in that administrative boardroom and we would probably wrap it all up in one day, but we know that we haven't seen a lot of people since March. So a lot of people are sending in some stuff. So my understanding, we have a video from the music department.
That's correct.
With a little bit of music from the kids in their own atmosphere, doing some of their own things, and just a few snippets. I think it's about 9 or 10 minutes long.
That's correct.
So we'll go ahead and let that play for any of the kids that might be watching tonight.
Okay, thank you. And I have Mr. Capel, I shared that video with you. And again, we weren't able to share it last week, so we thought we'd give it a go this evening. And Mr. Capel will thank the music department and those students that participated to show their appreciation. And we'll begin this evening's meeting with that. I'm going to stop presenting here so Mr. Capel can present. And we're going to try it again. I know it's a larger.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah, it just froze up on me.
Yeah, it's a larger
Sorry about that, everybody.
document, so we've been struggling a little bit, but we'll try it again.
All right, we are ready to go. So I'm going to try this again. Sorry about that.
to tell me to sleep easy for a while. It's breathing get harder, even I know that. Make room for me if you choose to see. If I'm happy in your hand, I'm unusually hard to hold on to. Blank stares and blank pages, no easy way to say this. You mean well, but you make this hard on me. I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you asked for it, 'cause you need one. You see, I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you tell me it's make or break in this. If you're on your way, I'm not gonna write you to stay. If all you have is leaving, I'ma need a better reason to write you a love song today. I learned the hard way, and there's nothing else things you wanna hear, and my happy heart sinks deep down under you, and your twisted words, your help just hurts. You are not who I thought you were. Held up too high and dry. Convince me to please you. Made me say that I need this too. I'm trying to let you hear me as I am. I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you asked for it, 'cause you need one. You see, I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you tell me it's make or break in this. If you're on your way, I'm not gonna write you to stay. If all you have is reason, I'm gonna need a better reason to write you a love song today.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I will say, even in the pandemic and they're not in the band room, they are at home doing what they're supposed to do.
Yes, they are.
A lot of those
So-
assignments are submitted as they're working at home. So it's good to know that they still are trying to keep that passion with their music alive.
Sounds
May
good.
I
Thank
just say, as a music lover myself, I grew up with music. It was always important in my home. And I'm just thrilled to see that these kids are continuing this passion. It's such an important part of our educational system and our spirit. So bravo and brava to all of them.
Thank you if any of our students are listening, thank you for your time. And Mr. Shamp, thank you for that. And we'll continue. We still have a couple weeks left of School Appreciation Month, and it's been fun. What we'll do to keep things moving along, I'm not going to represent. Well, I guess I can. Let me get this here. Hold on one second. I am going to represent this. Okay, so again, for those listening, our board work sessions are usually don't take action at. We have some discussion items. So we have 3 discussion items this evening. And Mr. Joshua Hill, our treasurer, is going to give the board an update with regards to our TAN refunding. So Mr. Hill, it's yours.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Give you guys just a brief. It's a little early in the process, but I did get some good news. I guess it would have been back in the beginning of December. I started looking into the TANs we have, and a TAN is a tax anticipation note. Typically, you'll take them out against money that you know you'll be receiving from taxes in order to do like more of a large scale type project type job. And these were taken out against our permanent improvement levy. I always like to double check and see if we're getting the best current interest rate because that can make a difference, especially in this case. Current projection on a refunding, and what you do is when you're refunding it, you are paying off the previous debt, and they are putting it back out to bid and issuing the same amount of debt for the remainder, or in this case, we have some other options. So when looking at this, with the current rates in the market, it actually is going to save us somewhere in the $350,000 to $400,000 range over the 10-year life of this TAN. So that's some good news. That is money that will stay in the permanent improvement fund and can go towards other projects. More specifically, when we passed the most recent permanent improvement levy, that $1 million was dedicated to putting in air conditioning in our schools over a multi-year adoption plan. The nice thing about this is I was also given the information that the way these TANs work is it's a 10-year limitation. So you can borrow against each year of collections, in this case for the permanent improvement. And what happens is there's a max of 10 years. And in this case, being that we're looking to do the air conditioning in the buildings, this might allow us to speed that up a little bit. It's still preliminary. They have to put it out and get the actual interest rate in, and to give us the absolute dollar amounts. But with current rates, it's projected to be about $400,000 in savings. And being that we're a year into the repayment, we can actually borrow against a 10th year again if we want to extend it, since we are refunding it and saving that amount of money. So it could allow for us to speed up that air conditioning kind of schedule. Again, no guarantees until the final rates come in, but that's kind of some of the good news I wanted to bring you tonight. The tentative schedule is I'm hoping to have some more concrete numbers in the next work session, the first one in February, first board meeting in February. But the plan is to go ahead and bring the resolution in front of you guys in the regular board meeting in February, so we can look at getting that approved so that they can then take it out and see. What they got to do is put it out to see the offers they receive on purchasing these notes on the other side. So other investment, banks and such will look at the opportunity to invest in this. And just based on current rates, it should be a sizable savings. So.
So that was a good way to start off 2021. I thought it was some exciting news. Mr. Hill will give us some updates, but it really, we're pretty excited about it, and we'll keep you posted. Any questions before I move on to our next discussion item?
Nope. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
You're welcome.
Mr. Capo, I don't know whether you want to do the third quarter update first or the high school brush, the forecasting. I just kind of wasn't sure if there was a certain order to it. So what would you like next? I'll stop presenting.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thanks, Dr. Reed. Actually, it's just one presentation. I'm going to start it with the third quarter layout. Not much has changed. And then I'm going to turn over to Mr. Williamson right into the same slide presentation. So I'll be playing Vanna here in the background.
Okay, if I could real quick, again, for those listening, sometimes, why do we select certain discussion items to put on it? Usually it's timely information. So again, the TAN refunding, very timely and important information we want to share, not just with the board, but with the public. And then again, we're going into the third quarter of school. And it's also that time of year that we look at, the forecasting. And so I thought, a lot of times when what we bring to the board is, people see that, we bring the course description books and just different things. And really sometimes this gives us an opportunity to explain really the process that we get to an item that's put on the board agenda. And this is that time of year to do that. So we thought we would take advantage of this evening's work session to allow not just the board, but for those that are wondering about how we go about our work to see, give them a little insight. So I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Keeper.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Let me get my screen going here. All right. So just to go back here. So tonight's presentation, like Dr. Reed said, is going to be covering our third quarter action plan, where we're at. Quarter's going to be ending in 2 weeks. Forecasting. So now that we're planning, once January hits, that's always the trigger for us to start planning for the following school year. And Mr. Williamson is going to walk you through that process a little bit, and also talk about our course description book. We're really excited about it. Got some new things added, and Mr. Williamson will be talking about that as well. Third quarter declarations, third quarter commitment. Just a quick reminder, this time we did a quarter commitment versus semester commitment, and those all have been put in. We had a great response, so thank you, parents. We had over 2,800 responses. So our blitz to the parents that didn't declare was much lighter this time around. So awesome job, and we really appreciate it. And heading into the fourth quarter, to be determined what that's going to look like. Would be some type of declaration, but in all transparency, we're waiting on the COVID status, entering that timeline. So scheduling, this is just based off our numbers from our declarations. Not much has changed. Our numbers are still stayed true for the grades K-3. So we will continue to have those school-based only teachers, remote only online teachers for those kiddos that decided to stay home. And teacher and student rosters may change. I actually have a scheduling meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. with the elementary principals, Dr. Reed and Mr. Miller. We're expecting minimal changes, but again, just based off sheer numbers and what we got back in the declarations, we may have a few of that, but parents were aware of that as it stated in the declaration. So, and grades 4 through 12, teachers are gonna teach remote and in person at the same time. Gonna keep that simultaneous teaching going. They worked out the kinks early on and really started to snowball in a positive way. So we won't have to change any schedules, any rosters, anything like that. I think always what I preach to my team, and something that's one of my core beliefs is, you always look back and what can you refine? What can we do differently? And one piece of the declaration this time for the third quarter was we asked for parent feedback right inside the declaration. And my office team, Ms. Huffenbach, Ms. DeSillo, and Mr. Capretta helped out from the junior high, but they took all that feedback, organized it, and sent it out to the principals. And we were able to make some adaptations from that. All that feedback was shared with the staff. A lot of positive feedback, which was awesome to see. A lot of thank yous, we appreciate the schedule, a lot of positive rapport. So all that was good. And then comes with that are some things that we had to take a look at and modify. One of those things that we did modify was ARC Wednesdays. ARC Wednesdays, we went with a K6 and a 712 model. The K6, we're going to go off of what Greenview's team built. And I say team in a huge capacity. They built their ARC Wednesdays for the first semester through their BLTs and other building leaders, content leaders. And what came of that is what we're using now, K6. There's going to be a ELA and math focus in the morning. So kiddos in the K6 realm will be logging in and they will have ELA and math in the morning. It's going to be a modified AM schedule. It all comes back from the feedback. So we appreciate it. Encore at the K3 may include video tutorials as teachers are needed for core classes. Good news. We had increase of students wanting to come back to school. And with that said, though, we were still right above that 50-50 marker, so which makes it challenging for staffing. But our Encore teachers have truly stepped up. They are licensed, credentialed in other areas, and just wanted to be honest and upfront with everybody. The tutorial, there might be tutorial videos versus live classes for the Encore just for the third quarter. Nothing's for sure yet, but just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. But this is what we came from the parent feedback. And again, it was very, very beneficial, and hats off to the Greenview teaching staff and administration team over there. They built a really nice ARC Wednesday. Schoology update. I thought this was really cool. We've hit over 1 million now, total Schoology sessions. You can read the stats here. I'm not going to go through them all. Kind of give you a little explanation what sessions are. Counter when a user logs in, logs out, or returns to Schoology. So our usage is, we're seeing the vertical increase on our trending data. So that's awesome. Parents, outstanding work. Our numbers are higher, just comparing them from the junior high where I've been for 4 years, and the amount of parents that log in a progress book versus the amount of parents that logged into Schoology. The Schoology login, checking grades and looking around is about almost 20% higher. So really coming along with that, people have adapted to it well. So I just wanted to share that. Mr. Morton was dancing around the office today with once we hit the over 1 million mark, and he pulled the data. So put that in there. Just a couple of questions I thought might be posed, and just trying to get ahead of them a little bit. My child declares remote in the third quarter. Does that mean they're remote for the fourth quarter? Absolutely not. Again, we will be sending out a fourth quarter declaration once we get a better idea of where we're at and start to devise our plan. And again, will my child's schedule change? This is just a possibility based off enrollment. Again, it'll be very, very minimal. And parents, just so you know that are listening in, all of the Wednesday material and schedule, modified AM schedule, and if any type of class change will happen, that'll be coming from the principals. They're actually giving us their parent letters to review tomorrow, and those will be going out either Thursday or Friday, so parents have plenty of time to plan ahead on that. Any questions before I turn it over to Mr. Williamson?
And I do want to make before if there's any questions, I just want to make a comment. What we're finding out is this are in a good way. Things are reason we don't want to do a semester. We're finding more and more about this COVID situation. The vaccine rollout is very fluid. And, we are, as those, if those weren't listening last week, educators are part of the phase 1B. And that is to start on February 1st, which is right around the corner. A few weeks ago, when I was with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health, they felt that they were a little bit behind with finishing up their 1A. I think they've caught up a little bit. I have a meeting again on Friday. I have a meeting tomorrow, and then I have a meeting on Friday. They thought they wouldn't be able to start the 1B to mid-February. I'm getting conflicting information, so I don't really want to put anything out there. So I guess what I'm saying to folks is things are happening quickly, I think, for a good way. So we don't really know what the fourth quarter holds. I mean, we're hoping, basically their goal is, it's a pretty aggressive one, is to between February 1st and March 1st is to take care of the K-12 school staff to get folks vaccinated. We'll see what that means with regards to the fourth quarter. For those that don't know, that, to be able to do that as well, they're also asked for a commitment for school districts to be able to have to offer an in-school option for families as well. That's an important piece of it. So again, this is one reason why, you know, folks have asked, well, you know, why have we asked for a longer commitment? And some are we're fine with third quarter. What I have known is that we need to really chunk our decisions because we get information on a very fluid on a fluid timeline. And we want to make sure that we are making the most informed decision that we can based on information that we get. So, stay tuned with that. Again, I wish I'm receiving information just probably right before this board meeting with regards to an update on vaccine rollout. I hope to, as soon as I sift through that information and confirm some of that with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health, I will certainly be updating the appropriate people with regards to, but it's coming, it's here. We as a school district, I as a school leader have submitted all the paperwork to the Ohio Department of Health, our commitment to the Ohio Department of Education with regards to being able to be eligible for our district employees to receive the vaccination. And now we're pretty much, we actually had 555 employees respond to a survey done that they are either going to get the vaccine or are interested. That is a really, really positive amount of folks that are committed to it. So stay tuned. And I think the next step is people are registering it and we're waiting to, I will be notified on different location sites. One of the things that we are pushing for school leaders is that, can we have a vaccination site be within our own school districts? We haven't been able to get confirmation on that, but we are certainly pressing that issue. We feel that we're really good at moving masses of people. We do it every day with our students twice a day. So again, stay tuned and I should have some more information out there with regards to what, the future may hold, with regards to not just finishing this year, but moving forward. So.
Thanks, Dr. Reed. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Williamson now, and he's going to explain the amount of collaboration, teamwork, and just the overall process of our forecasting, and then he's going to dive right into our course description book, which entails same building leaders, collaboration, and just a full process that we go through. So when that book comes on you guys' hands, you kind of get a feel for where it's been before it gets to you. So Mr. Williamson.
Mr. Cable, I just want to say thank you. The ability to try to have foresight in the midst of not really knowing what you're dealing with has been courageous for our district. And I do want to take a moment to say thank you for that and the whole team, just the foresight and thinking ahead as best as possible.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Take that.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come and present this evening. When Mr. Capel asked me if I could come and explain the process for how we begin the forecasting timeline and what it all entails, I absolutely jumped on that. I'm not sure anyone on the board knows exactly what our process is. Maybe Ms. Falkenberg knows from her days when she was at the high school. But back in September and October, we were already starting to prepare for the 21-22 school year. Administrators got together. We reviewed the course description book. We identified markers that we know we need to change and update. We have new graduation requirements for certain classes, alternate pathways, graduation seals. So we started to have conversations collectively as a team. We had conversations with the counselors. Then we went to the next level and I had conversations with Mr. Capel and Ms. Thompson indicating that we need to update the course description book to reflect the graduation adjustments, including the seals. And oh, by the way, we're looking at potentially bringing in some new courses. When asked why we're looking to bring in new courses, one of the things we said right off the top was we want to create a curriculum at the high school that allows our students to enjoy the classes they must take as well as classes they want to take. So in doing that, we're meeting needs not only for them to graduate, but we're also meeting the needs that will help them become lifelong learners. So we incorporated the help of the junior high administrators, coordinators, and then our school counselors. Like we said, we reviewed the book, identified necessary adjustments. Board just recently approved the graduation seals, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we talked about potential course adjustments within the course description book. We started discussing this with the department coordinators back, like I said, in October, November. We asked them to consider what they currently have, meet within their department, and then start to develop adjustments that they would like to see in the course description book, which could mean reductions or additions. From there, we created this timeline. The coordinators had until January 11th, which was earlier this week, last week, whatever week, to turn in the book. And from that point, January 11th to February 1st, we are actually developing the course description book. So taking the work from the coordinators, Ms. Sanford is now putting everything in a Google Doc. Myself, Mr. Johnson, Ms. Myers, we're now going to be reviewing the first review. The first review is in my mailbox and it's waiting for my eyes tomorrow morning. I have a meeting with Ms. Sanford so we can go over that, so then I can tell her this is good, we need to update this, and this is how we need to have it look. The idea is to have this course description book presented to central administration, so in the hands of Mr. Capel, Ms. Thompson, Dr. Reed on February 2nd. With that, from there, I'm hoping Mr. Capel is able to successfully gather enough proofreaders. Hopefully Ms. Falkenberg is on board to help us with that, as well as a couple other folks, to proofread the book so that it can be approved at a February meeting. Because in February, we're starting to plan for next school year. We're meeting on February 3rd, Ms. Johnson and I, with the 8th grade parents at the high school. It's only a couple weeks away. It's probably going to be a remote meeting. I'm hoping to have some folks come into the building, but we'll definitely have that meeting available remotely for all the parents in the 8th grade. Following that, Ms. Johnson and I are going to go over to the junior high on the 24th and 25th, and we're going to conduct simultaneous virtual and in-person meetings with the 8th graders, remind them what the high school is all about, share with them the course description book, tell them what they need to schedule for, and then have them start that planning process with their families. So we're going to coordinate what they learn on the 24th and 25th and take it back to what the parents learn on February 3rd. The 8th graders are then going to forecast from March 1st to the 12th. 9th through 11th grade will forecast March 8th through the 19th. We're then going to start to review the forecasting tallies at the end of the month, so that we're going to have about a week and a half, and I understand that spring break is in there. We're going to have about a week and a half to make sure that we have every kid 8 through 11 forecasted, so that I can look at the tallies and then we can make a determination on which courses and how many sections we need to run. I will then take that over to central office, have a conversation with Dr. Reed, Ms. Thompson, Mr. Capel, and then eventually Mr. Hill, so we can start the process of staffing. When it comes to the course description book, it's a pretty bodacious size book. When I first came to Brush, I think there was like 168 pages. We have it down to under 90, I believe. Quite frankly, it's still a little bit robust, so we're trying to tweak it where we can. So we've done some things. Administrators have given their input, as have the counselors, and then we have the coordinators who've helped with that. And then we come to the new courses. We are asking for a professional editor, and like I said, I'm hoping Mr. Capel can convince Ms. Falkenberg to be one of our lead proofreaders on this endeavor for this school year.
Consider that done, Mr. Williamson.
Yeah.
Deal.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Falkenberg.
Thank you,
Not a
Ms.
problem.
Falkenberg.
Ms. Falkenberg, just remember, it's not like you're grading those AP papers. So
I know, it's hard to break myself, but I'll try.
all right, deal. So in the course description book, graduation requirements will be updated. So no longer will the class of 2020 be mentioned. And then we'll start to move forward with the class of 23 and beyond. Not forgetting about 21 or 22, just we're going to reflect so that the requirements reflect 23 and beyond. State and local seals will be identified. That includes the local seals of community service, student engagement, fine, and performing arts. This is the piece that's really exciting. Every year, the counselors, they'll come in and they'll say, hey, Carl, we don't have enough elective courses to offer our students, especially to ninth graders or especially to our juniors and seniors. So we need to do something different. So with that said, we asked the coordinators to think about it. We want to expand our offerings to meet the needs of our students. In ELA, Ms. Fine and her department came up with this great idea of introducing a comics and graphic novels 1 and 2 course. Graphic novels 1 and 2 would be 1 semester courses for a total of 1/2 credit each. And that'll be for students in grade 9 through 12. We already have an idea who would teach that class, Mr. Beck. He's big into this, so he'd be the go-to, and that's what we're leaning on. So one of the things with the course description book, as well as Ms. Johnson and myself, when we go over to the junior high, we're going to be promoting not only all the courses that the students need to take, but we're going to be highlighting these specific courses as well, so we can get some fan favorites going and they'll want to take them. The next class that course that we're introducing for approval is a social injustice racism course for grades 11 through 12. This will be done in a social studies and English setting. Earlier this school year, Dr. Reed asked myself, Mr. Capel, Ms. Thompson, Chet Mason, J.C. Collins, Mr. Atwood, Coach Hall, to come over to the board office so we can have a little conversation about some of the things happening in the world that we're living in and the things that our kids are facing. And at that meeting, Chet Mason brought up this idea of a class that the University of Pittsburgh is offering for all incoming freshmen. And it's basically a social injustice racism course. So from that, we took that information, we went back to the building, had a conversation with Joan Kelly, and she took this and ran with it. She and Rumay Watkins Clark, they have been working on this simultaneously for the last 2 years, and they're waiting to present it to me. So when I took it to her and said, hey, do you think we could do something? She says, I got the perfect thing. I got the perfect idea, and we're going to get Rumay, and I'm going to do this, and I think it'll work fine. So we met a couple times. Ms. Thompson came in and met. We have a few more meetings coming up in the future. We're really excited about this social injustice course that we're going to offer for our 11th and 12th grade students to participate in next school year. The idea is to introduce it to 11 and 12, and then within the next few years, thinking ahead, we want to make this course a requirement for all students graduating from Brush, that they have to go through this class successfully. Science, Mr. James would not let me go without introducing yet another science elective, which is really something we want, especially with the new facility that we have in the Innovation Lab in the robotics area. So his department came up with the great idea of introducing a STEM course, and it's called Robotics 1, and it'll be for those students in grades 9 through 12. So we're really excited about those offerings and opportunities. We know that if we can get them into the course description book, they will offer just another opportunity for kids to take so that they say, yes, I want to be at Brush, and here are the classes I'm going to take, and we'll be able to keep them in our building.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Williamson. We'll see if we have any questions, but we're real excited that even during this pandemic, that we continue to evolve and meet the needs of our students and society. You know, it's a collaborative effort. You know, a lot of times I tell folks I'm that visionary person, I'm the idea person, but it takes a lot of finishing artists to get it to a point where it can be, you know, a reality. And so I want to thank the teachers as well, and those that are looking forward to it again, you know. So we are looking forward to meeting the needs of our students and offering some different courses as well. Any questions or comments for?
I just find it exciting that we have these possible new courses for the kids. I think they'll really latch onto those.
I do want to make one more comment. Actually, with regards to the social injustice, Chet Mason has actually brought it to my attention. And again, as Ms. Williamson said, they offer it for, I think, all incoming freshmen at the University of of Pittsburgh, and I did some extensive reading on that. And again, I realize it's an older student, but it was really something that resonated with regards to, again, what's happening in our country, and what better place or a platform for in public education for our students to have the opportunity to learn from that and that piece. And we figure, we start with a little bit of, it's new for us. So right now it's just 11th and 12th grades, a little bit of upperclassmen to be able to handle maybe that dialogue that might be able to take place. And so, again, we'll continue to grow and evaluate those new courses.
If I could add to that real quickly, when Chet brought this to our attention, he was heartfelt and adamant that we do something better for our students, and we all agreed. So this course is a little bit of some of the things that we learned through the University of Pittsburgh, some of the stuff that we learned from Cleveland State University, and some of the things that we've learned from area high schools. Well, I should say area. So high schools in Ohio. So we took a look at what they're doing. And then based on that, again, Joan Kelly and Rumay Watkins Clark, they've really taken the lead on this. And I think the course that they are developing is going to be one that is going to put Brush in another echelon of others wanting to be like us, because this class is going to put us on the map for what we're looking to do.
Anything else? Thank you, Mr. Capel and Mr. Williamson. Thank you for bringing that timely topic to their. I'm sorry, Ms. Jones. I see you. Did you want to make a comment?
No, I was just trying to digest it. Honestly, it's it's a lot. I mean, again, the ability to jump out there and do what we haven't done before. We've historically done many things, many ways. I mean, Mr. Williamson, I still always say you allow the staff to come and speak to you and tell you what they think the kids need, and you don't hesitate to evaluate that. And no, by no way am I saying you're a yes man, because some stuff doesn't come by. It's just not necessary, not timing. But I'm excited. I mean, to embark on adding new courses in the midst of population minimizing, numbers falling. So I'm overjoyed a little bit, and I'm excited that Chet feels he's got a place. I mean, that's a welcoming feeling for him to be able to feel that he can come and speak to you and have that dialogue and have that conversation, and this be the end result of it is heartwarming. So I don't take it lightly that you're just allowing things to happen. And that's a nice profile that you rolled out of the process. It's not a lot of people that know the process and the temperature of their building off the top of their head, and just keep doing it.
Well, I appreciate that. One. Two, I did tell Chet that this course does come with a stipulation for him as well. And I asked him, I said, one of the things that we're going to ask, there's going to be outside folks asked to present to our students that are taking this course. And I told Chet he's going to be one of the individuals I'm going to strongly recommend Joan and Rumay bring to the forefront to have a conversation with the kids, because we've asked Chet to do that previously when we had the captain's luncheon for the WRC last school year with he and Coach Hall. Chet, when he speaks, he commands the attention of the kids in the room. And I'm not just talking athletically speaking. Yeah. I'm talking about he's real. He can get to the level of the kids, and the kids can connect to him. And he brings such a valuable piece to our school and to our district. I get upset all the time when, and it hasn't happened this year so much, when Ms. Thompson reminds me, Carl, you're 1/6 of the puzzle. You got to remember that, which means I can only have Chet 1/6 of the time. I'm able to finagle him a little bit more than just 1/6 when I really need something, and he's always there for me. So we're very appreciative, and I'm looking forward to this course description booklet getting completed, getting it over into your eyes and hands so that we can get it to our kids. February 3rd will be here before we know it. We're creating a hype video to keep our kids in our district, and we're really excited. So if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me, Dr. Reed. Right?
I I certainly do. While I got you here in a captured audience, I do want to mention to the board, because it made me think with the robotics course, and I was just over at the high school the other day. We're almost to the point to do it safely that we can actually start to give some tours to some folks in person for those people that want to. So I don't know where the board is on that, but Mr. Williamson, can you give us, I know that the front entrance still needs a little bit of work, but when do you anticipate, everything else looks pretty much done. So when do you anticipate that? Can you give an update real quick?
So today, Mike Murphy and I had the opportunity to do a walkthrough with Millstone, which did the phase 2 portion of our project. And we gave them some things that we'd like for them to update and touch over because it wasn't done to our specs. So they started that work immediately. We're being told that everything that is on the punch list will be done by the middle of next week. So the thing out front, pretty much all of it will be ready until the spring when they have to do some final landscaping and seeding of the lawn. And we're going to get some signage for the area that's in front of the building for parking. That is for visitors, 15 minutes or less to the building. It's not for staff. And we're excited for that. We're looking to do a tour. Hopefully I can have all of you folks that I have here at the high school on a Friday next week so that I can take you on a tour of the building. And then on the following Saturday morning from 10 to 2 or 10 to 3, we're going to have tours in pockets of no more than 10 to 12 at a time, and they'll get a tour of the building as well. And we'll continue to do this for the next several weekends so that everybody in the community can see the great work that's happening at the high school. It's been a chore. Mr. Murphy has probably heard me complain to him plenty, but the final product is coming to fruition, and I'm excited for you folks to see it because I've seen it every day, and every time one of you come into the building, you're always in amazement, and I'm sitting there shaking my head like, no, this should have been done 3 weeks ago, but it's enough for me. We're good. So with that said, I'm hoping to do a tour with you folks next Friday, and then Saturday morning, open it up to our community parents and then forward.
And when you say next Friday, what's the date on that? You're talking about
That is, let me pull my calendar up. That is January 29th.
Okay. So I just, some of you might have been in the building or not, but it's really, really exciting. I mean, it's really, I can't contain it. I just can't wait to one day see the halls filled. But it looks really great in that piece. And, just even the front entrance, looking at how it's designed where they go into you don't have a security guard sitting out there in the hall anymore.
Yes.
And just so you know, it's not a hall either. We've kicked out the front, and it's a 2-door entry system that again is according to our strategic plan. And just to see the Wi-Fi cafe up there, I just can't wait till we get some live shows again. It's just, I can go on and on, but it's really something to be seen. And can't wait till the kids get to experience robotics in a new innovation lab as well. So a lot of nice stuff. Any questions?
No.
You folks have a great evening. Dr. Reed, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Mr. Capel. And I think I have to meet with you both tomorrow morning virtually. I think that's what's on my calendar, but.
Wait, am I seeing you twice tomorrow? Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Board and for those folks listening, those completes our 3 items for discussion this evening. And there's on our end there, we don't have a need to go into executive session. So that should complete our meeting.
All right. I think that's it.
Sounds good. Well, after you I always do this prematurely. Let me know, Mr. Hill. I will not stop streaming until you tell me stop streaming.
It is now 7:00. May we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Bloomberg and Miss Catherine Falkenberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, wait.
We're good.